we will see what is real communication. Now, we are looking at real communication in real life and how it can be taught in the class. Okay. There is a lot of difference between the world outside and the classroom. What are these differences? Okay. Can anyone tell me what the differences are? Do you know of any of these differences?
It is like not affected by any other social elements.
Okay.
It is,
Isolated. Classroom is isolated, world has a context. That's what Ramesh is saying. Let us see what it is. I am just going to make some statements. Listen to these statements carefully and tell me whether what happens in the world outside also happens in the classroom. Okay. Like first sentence is like this: in real life we have a clear idea of what others are going to say. Means I do not need to ask question at all. I already know what the other person says. So, there is no problem of communication breaking down. In the world outside, I meet strangers. When I talk to them, I already know what they want to talk to me. Is this true? Have you met strangers in the world outside? Have you spoken to them? Have you got clear idea of what they have to say? Have you got that? No, you do not have. In the classroom, a teacher asks a question and teacher already knows the answer, and teacher expects the student to say only that answer. Do you think that is a real thing? That is real communication?
No.
So, what should the teacher do in the classroom?
Teacher should ask the questions which is the answer is open actually.
The answer can be an open answer. It can be an open ended question. I should not ask a question for which I already know the answer. So, do you see this is a big difference between the world outside and the classroom? For example, when you go to a shop and ask how much is the price of sugar, do you already know the answer?
No sir.
You do not know. But in my class, if I ask you what is communication, do I know the answer?
Yes sir.
I know the answer, but still I keep asking you that question. This is one big difference. Okay. Do you think that is a good thing or a bad thing?
Because through that a teacher can make his students learn what he knows, he can transfer the knowledge.
Is that so? I do not know, I am not very sure.
I don't think so sir. I am not agree with this answer. I think there should not be one particular answer.
There can be many answers.
There can be many answers.
Is there a Shashank, is there a possibility of the teacher also learning with the student?
Yes.
Okay. Student learns in the class, yes. Can the teacher also learn?
Yes sir.
If that is the case, the question that I ask should not have only one answer. It should be possible for me to have many answers. So, that is the first difference. Let us look at sentence number 2. When I go to the world outside, when I am in the world outside, okay, we usually talk in well formed sentences caring for grammar and pronunciation. So, in the market, when you go for some shopping, do you use what is called the received pronunciation, absolute word stress, perfect intonation? Do you care for all this, or do you care to see that the grammar of your sentence is all right? All these things, do you care for that?
No sir.
Suppose your grammar is wrong, does the shopkeeper refuse to sell something for you?
No sir.
It does not happen. In the classroom? In the classroom, does it happen?
Yes sir.
Your answer may be right, but if your sentence is wrong, what will the teacher do?
Teacher will correct it.
The teacher will correct it. Is that a right thing to do?
Teacher should generate some avenue to let them learn and respond.
Teacher should provide an avenue for the students to learn. But by making them speak wrongly, would he be providing an avenue? Is it providing an avenue or closing the avenue?
No, first this is initial stage,
Okay.
and teacher should allow few hints,
Give some hints. Okay.
indication
Right.
in right direction, so that he can students can go forward.
Which
in that
means
direction.
even if the student makes a mistake, it doesn't matter. If the meaning is clear,
Clear.
if the sentence is not correct, even then it is all right. In the world outside, when we are talking to someone else, we patiently wait for others to finish what they are saying before we respond. Somebody is talking, we listen carefully, and after they finish, we start talking. It's like turn taking. Have you seen a drama? In drama, one actor finishes talking, another actor begins, another actor finishes, the third actor begins, then the first actor. It's turn taking. In real life, does that happen? It doesn't happen. Do two people talk together? Have you seen people quarreling? It's not necessary that only when quarreling you should talk like that. Even ordinary talk, there is a lot of crosstalk. In classroom, can that happen? If Ramesh is talking, then Rajesh also wants to say something, will that be all right? If both of them talk together, will I understand either of them? No. But in life, I understand. But here in the class, I don't understand. Do you think this is wrong thing to happen in the class?
No, sir. I don't think it is wrong, because the classroom should represent the real society outside. So with this discussion and debate, the learning produces.
The learning is
produced
Oh, okay. Is there a way to overcome this?
by guided learnings. learnings.
Guidelines, okay. Any simple measure by which you can overcome this? Okay. Now, in your class, suppose I divide this class into 2 or 3 groups, 3 pairs. Can all 6 of you talk together? Would you be disturbing one another? No. So, parallelly there can be talk. At the end, I can find out what each pair has discussed. This is possible, which means instead of my standing here and talking to the whole class, if I divide you into smaller groups, and if you can talk to each other in smaller groups, if you can also talk to me in smaller groups, if I can talk to you in smaller groups, that is real communication. Can that happen in the classroom? Yes, sir. Yes. It can happen in the classroom. In real life, we usually talk in groups of 4s and 5s. In the classroom, teacher talks, all the 60 students have to listen. One student talks, the rest of the class has to listen. That's very, very artificial. Okay? So, to overcome this, we can divide a class into smaller groups. Each group can have 4 or 5 students, and they can talk. That will be real communication. It's possible for us to make our classroom look like world outside. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. But only thing is, we should be trained to do that. We should learn to do that. You read a lesson. When you read a lesson, if the teacher reads it aloud, teacher understands. Will you understand? You won't understand. Only when you read, you understand the lesson. So, is it possible for me to make you read? Is it possible for me to make you discuss what you have read? That is what I am saying. In the world outside, we always want, when we want to talk, we want all others to keep quiet and listen to us. Is that true? If that is the case, you can never see off people on the railway platform. You can never have any conversation on railway platform. You cannot go to a market and talk to your friend. You cannot go to an exhibition and talk to your friend. But in the classroom, if 2 people talk at the same time, the teacher gets disturbed. Students get disturbed. Do you think that's the right thing to happen? In the classroom, it should happen, because it's a controlled situation. It's not a free situation. Okay? In the classroom, there has to be quietness, there has to be an orderliness, but still there can be a lot of interaction. In the world outside, there is a lot of interaction, but there is no order. Many people talk at the same time. You are not disturbed by the noise of others. In the classroom, we are disturbed by the noise of others. Do you think it is a strange thing? Is it a strange thing or an ordinary thing? Ordinary thing. In your conversation with your friend, in the world outside, it is a series of questions, answers. Is that how you have a conversation with your friend? Always question, answer, question, answer? No, it is never like that. In the classroom, teacher talks, then asks a question, then answer, or student asks a question, then answer. That is the only type of conversation that happens in the class. No other type of conversation happens in the class. Do you think this is good? Not good. What can we do for this? Teacher is not the only source of knowledge. Okay, in the world outside, we are not the only source of knowledge. There are so many sources of knowledge. In the classroom also, everyone is a source of knowledge. Teacher is also a source of knowledge. Students are also a source of knowledge. If there is a source of knowledge, what should we do? We should exploit it. We should exploit it. We should use it. We can share the information we have with others. That becomes real good communication. Otherwise, it is not communication. Understood? So, what are the things I have been saying? In the world outside, we do not have a clear idea of what the others say. Okay? We are prepared to listen to others. In the classroom, we ask a question that for which the answer is already known. In the world outside, there is no quiet order. It is okay, there is lot of noise. In the world outside, we talk in small groups of 4 and 5. In the world outside, it is not a series of question answers. In the world outside, we don't care for grammar, pronunciation, correctness, accuracy. What matters is the meaning, communication or the meaning. This is something that we have to understand. I will give you 2 or 3 more sentences like this, which will help you to say whether the system is right or wrong, the classroom system. In the world outside, when you are walking with your friend, you know English, your friend also knows English, and both of you are studying here in this university. Now, you have learnt a little more English than your friend. So, whenever your friend talks to you, you say, no, your grammar is wrong, your pronunciation is wrong, the stress on this word should be different. Do you keep correcting your friend?
I think sometimes it hurts the ego.
It hurts, it really hurts, because your friend is not talking to you to show his scholarship. Your friend is talking to you because he loves you. Your friend is talking to you because he has some information to communicate, he has some information to give you. In the classroom, we always keep correcting our students. In the world outside, do we talk without purpose? Is there any talk that we do which has no purpose at all?
I feel, sir, for every talk there is a purpose.
For every talk there is a purpose. Okay,
even if you talk to ourselves also, there is a purpose.
Okay, there are occasions when we talk to ourselves. Even that has a purpose. Very good. But there are some people who talk for nothing at all.
Just like gossiping with
gossiping.
Their friends. Yeah.
Does gossiping have a purpose? The best way to spend is to talk to someone. By talking to someone, I am not gossiping, I am also making my friendship become better. Okay? So, gossip is not idle talk. Gossip has a lot of purpose. It has a social purpose, it has a health purpose, it also has a personal purpose. Okay? So, 3 important purposes. Okay? So, we often speak without a purpose, that is not true. In the classroom, do we speak without a purpose? Okay. When I ask you a question for which I already know the answer, do I have a purpose in asking the question?
Yes.
A teacher asks a question. The teacher already knows the answer. What is the purpose? Is there a purpose?
Yes, sir. To test.
What's the purpose?
To test the students.
To
Test
the students. Okay. But that is not a very good purpose, I think. That is not a very good purpose.
With an expectation, like whether the teacher, whatever the teacher has taught, is received or learned.
I am checking for myself whether what I have said has been understood. That may be a purpose, but not to test the students. It is a feedback mechanism. Okay? But in classroom there can be times when there is no purpose, sometimes, not always. Sometimes there can be a purposeless talk as far as classroom is concerned. And the last statement I want to say as far as purposes of communication, world outside, classroom within, is we take our turn to speak and speak only when we are required. Think of the party, think of the marriage function, think of any of the functions that you have attended, and there if you have to talk in a disciplined manner as if you are speaking in a seminar, would you go to such a party? No, that is wrong. That is not a very good thing, but in the classroom sometimes it happens. Now, if you want to see how you can make someone communicate, how you can make someone understand communication, you have to remember 6 questions, very, very simple questions. The first question is, who am I talking to? Which means the relationship. Okay? This is very, very important. Suppose there is a lady, is a mother of a child. At home, the relation between the woman and the child is that of mother and child. This lady is also a teacher in the school. The child also goes to the same school. The mother teaches in the same class that the child is studying. In the classroom, can the mother talk to the child the way she talks to him at home?
No, sir.
No. The relationships are very, very different, very different. Okay? So, relationship is extremely, extremely important. Next is what? What is it that I want to talk? What does that mean? What is it I want to talk? How can you summarize it in one word? Topic. Very good. The topic I am discussing. Okay? Now, topic can be serious, topic can be something not serious. What is the topic I am discussing, and depending on the topic I am discussing, I should know whether it is serious or not serious. Okay? That is something that you have to really, really understand. I should also know where I am talking. Is that necessary? The place where I am talking, is it important?
If you are talking inside the classroom, the way you will talk will be different if you are talking outside the classroom.
What is that called?
Formal and
Formal,
informal.
informal. Okay. There are situations, there are a place decides the formality of the situation. Where means formality, how formal a situation it is. There are some offices where you get frightened to talk. It is so quiet, so clean, so silent, okay? Everything is in proper order. You want to walk into that office, you feel frightened. But there are some places, classroom is not such a place. Classroom is a very comfortable place. The atmosphere is relaxed. Okay? Only when the place decides how relaxed the atmosphere is or how formal the situation is. Then we have to say why. I am going to skip this because we have talked about the purpose many times. Very important question. Next question is when. When means time. Time when I am talking to you. Okay? All of you are students. Okay? Now, you have some lessons in the first period. You also have some lessons in the last period. Which lesson do you understand better, the lesson in the first period or the last period?
Maybe last.
Maybe last.
But generally we learn more in the first lesson.
Generally, most of us tend to learn more in the first period. Teachers also teach much better in the first period than in the last period. Maybe there are some exceptions. They can teach any time. And when also just does not mean point of time, it also means duration. Okay? If the class is for 45 minutes, how do you like it? If the class is for 90 minutes, how do you like it? In a school, the class is only for about 40 minutes, okay? Because children cannot concentrate for long time. So, when is very, very important. Therefore, when you are talking to someone, be brief. This is what we say, crisp, and say everything whatever you want to say. So, 5 questions we have looked at. First was who, what, where, why, when. And the last question is how. In fact, there is a very nice poem by Rudyard Kipling. I keep 6 honest men, they tell me what to do. Their names are what, where, when, how, why and where. Okay? This is a very beautiful poem by Rudyard Kipling. How means what is the means of communication? Am I talking to you? Or am I simply talking to you? Or am I writing something on the board? Am I showing you some visuals? All these things matter a lot. Or you are standing next to your friend, you are talking to the friend face to face. How do you convey the message? The friend is not in front of you, you pick up your mobile, talk to him on the phone. How do you talk? Do you make any difference? Okay. These are the things that you have to think of. Okay. So, we have looked at 2 things. One is we have looked at communication in general. Second thing, we have looked at communication in the classroom. If I am going to teach language, for communication, what are the precautions I should take? In the world outside, I use language in one particular manner. Can I replicate? Can I use the same model in my classroom? And what are the precautions I have to take while teaching language in the classroom? These are the 2 things that we have learned. Any questions you would like to ask?
Sir, just one thing, sir. Sir, when we think about a situation outside the classroom, how far we can bring all the situation to the classroom, sir? How far means to what extent we can bring all those things?
See, one thing is you may not care for grammar. You may care much more for meaning. That's one. Second, as a teacher, you can reduce the amount of talking you do and provide more opportunities for the students to talk. 3, you can use group work, pair work. Okay. 4, you can go beyond the textbook. The language in the textbook is not the only language. There are other types of language samples that you get. These are some of the things that you can do. Okay. You can encourage the students to come and talk, ask questions. You can encourage the students to teach. There can be more discussion rather than lecture.
Sir, you told when we speak outside, we have always a purpose. But in sometimes in the class we speak purposelessly. Can you give some examples?
I gave you this example. If you think of reading comprehension, okay. In reading comprehension, we have several types of questions. The first, the simplest type of question is what is called factual question. Now, what purpose does a factual question have other than locating information? The only purpose a factual question has is to locate information. Beyond that, is there any purpose? There is no purpose at all. Akbar was a great king. Who was Akbar? Is there any meaning in asking that question? Okay, or what kind of a king was Akbar? Suppose I ask questions like that, what is the purpose? I am not serving any purpose. That's what I mean by saying that sometimes the classroom talk has no purpose. Any other question?